Hey everybody. Typically I'd start this episode off with a lot of energy, but you may have clicked on this episode wondering, why is the logo changed? Why is the title called Superman Review? The answer, The Rentish is dead. We've killed it. This is now a podcast dedicated to movie and television reviews. Welcome. My name is Zach. This is my co-host.
Are you rolling with that?
Oh, no, we're not. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rentish Podcast. I'm Zach, and I'm here with my co-host, Patrick.
What up?
We're your hosts for this podcast about rental properties and hosted by two guys that work in the real estate industry and sort of know what they're talking about.
But mostly do not.
Mostly, we do not. I like that. You separated. You took the contraction and you. What's it called when you
Decontract.
Decontracted it.
I don't know.
That sounds like very official.
Yeah,
I decontracted. That's that word.
We're all formal here. We're on the Rentish podcast.
Exactly.
I feel like we're rebranding. No contractions.
No contractions.
I'm not using any contractions.
We're not going to use a single
episode.
contraction for this entire episode. Patrick, mostly we don't, which is why you're going to have fun
Mostly
hearing us talk to experts and learning with us or just laughing along at how little we know. Promise this isn't a show about grammar, so you don't have to worry about that at all.
You do not have to worry about that.
Yeah, you have to imagine we're just making grammatical mistakes left and right on this podcast, right? This ain't NPR. This ain't your mom's NPR. This is the Rentish. Follow us on social media at the Rentish Pod. Email questions at therentishpod.com if you want to ask us anything about buildings or movies or
Superman.
Movies filmed inside buildings or Superman. Sure, ask us questions about that. You can check out some of our past episodes by going to your podcast platform of choice, hitting that subscribe button, and hitting the notification bell as well so that you're notified of all new episodes that come out. We would greatly appreciate it. Also, on your podcast platform of choice, if you could hit that little 5-star review thing or slide the scale, the happy smile, all the way to the right, we would greatly appreciate that as well. Or leave us a comment if you're enjoying the show. Patrick, I think that's all the plugs I've got to do. How's your day going?
So far so good.
So far so good?
Yeah. I am seeing Superman later today, so
I've seen it twice.
Yes.
So we're not a movie. Unfortunately, the producers wouldn't let me kill the podcast so that we could do a movie podcast instead. So instead, they're going to get 30 seconds of Superman talk, which is, I saw it twice this weekend. It's excellent. It's really fun. I would say check out our last episode probably, or one of the episodes that's come out recently by the time that you hear this episode. We did an interview with Alyssa, who's a historic preservationist, and we talked a great deal about the Cincinnati Museum Center and the Union Terminal, featured beautifully in Superman.
I'm excited.
And let me tell you what, one of the coolest moments that I'll never forget as long as I live in seeing movies was opening night at Superman, seeing it at the AMC Newport on the river in Cincinnati. And the first shot where the Union Terminal shows up, the whole theater erupted in cheers and applause.
That's awesome.
And like I had chills overtake my entire body. And I was like, I'm like happy crying. I'm like, it's Superman. And so, yeah, I mean, like this movie just, it struck a chord with me. I'm a huge fan of the character, but yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. Very hopeful and optimistic, fun, modern take on the character. And I think people will enjoy it.
I'm passively sort of eager to see it.
Sure. Can't wait. I'm bringing earplugs to the office tomorrow.
I'll let you know what I think.
Yeah. All right, Patrick. I'm going to do a galaxy brain move here. I was telling producer me to say about this. I brewed a cup of coffee.
Okay.
And then I made a cup with ice in it.
Okay.
And I'm about to make iced coffee.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be freaking nuts. Why don't you take a moment? We never done this before. While I pour this coffee,
okay,
and undoubtedly make a gigantic mess in the studio.
Hold it. Make sure you hold it right over your laptop.
Right over the laptop. Yeah. Why don't you do a brief overview of what listeners can expect on this episode of the Rentish Pod?
Yeah. So today, wow, you actually
I nailed it,
that.
y'all.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailed it. Cheers.
Nice, and you picked a good amount too. I thought that was going to overflow.
12 ounces of motor fuel right to my brain.
But yeah, so today on the Rentish podcast, we're going to go over some sort of article that I definitely read.
Yeah, right, yeah.
About why homes are sitting is kind of like the general gist of things. And we're going to go over some listener questions. So I'm excited to discuss this article that I'm such expertly knowledgeable about.
Okay. Well, then let's dive in. Why are homes sitting? It sounds like the start of a punchline. It's like, is your refrigerator running?
Yeah.
You know? Then you better catch it. It's like, why is your house sitting? Because I hired a babysitter.
Oh.
House sitting?
Uh,
Babysitter? Help me out here. There's got to be a funnier joke we can roll with on this one.
Why is your house sitting?
Why is your house sitting?
It was tired of standing.
It was tired of standing up.
That's not very good either.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're gonna workshop these jokes on the social media. If we, comment A or B, which one you like better. So why are homes sitting? What it means for buyers, what it means for sellers, based on a July 12th, 2025 article by Julia Carbonaro. It's a lovely sounding last name. It's a great pasta as well. And this is from Newsweek. Patrick, did you read the Carbonaro article?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
It was really good.
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was the part where they have a graph, though. It's some sort of graph in the article here.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a bar graph.
Graph.
I really liked that part.
Are you a big bar graph guy or a big line graph guy? Where do you land?
I like the pie charts.
Okay. All right, Patrick. Well, it turns out, okay, so before we get into it, then tell me, what do you think it means to be, why home sitting?
I have a confession to make. I didn't read the article.
Oh, okay. Well, then do you want to guess what it's about?
Why is your house sitting?
Why is your house sitting?
So my just immediate guess is that means your house isn't like selling. Is that what that means? It's just kind of sitting on the market. It's not sell, or it could also mean it's the price of the house is not appreciating, or it's like it's not gaining value over time. My guess is it means one of those two things.
Okay. Those are two solid guesses.
Yeah.
Let's do a little bit of digging, shall we? The U.S. housing market is in a strange spot right now. Prices are still high, but homes are sitting longer. And inventory is rising, yet buyers are still holding back. The result, more unsold homes than we've seen in years, and a market that's starting to shift. So basically, it was your first thing, whereas houses are going for sale, and they're just chilling.
Yeah.
Jay chilling. Signs out front of the yard. No one's looking at it. No one's calling. No one's doing whatever. It's just sitting there.
And this is like a recent, because I know like a couple of years ago, it was just kind of like you put the house on the market, flies off.
You picked up within the hour.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that a lot of it's due to the shifting in the market, and that's what we're going to kind of talk about here. So, there's a few talking points from the article. Again, this is the Newsweek article. Sorry, Julia Carbonaro. Don't want to mispronounce your name, even though it's giving me an idea of what to cook for dinner. The first talking point, inventory is surging nationwide. As of June 2025, unsold homes were up 20% compared to last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
20%, which is a high number considering how many people are not actively trying to buy right now. Or like the market, the amount of people that are just like, oh, the market's too prohibitive. I can't get in. I don't want to buy a house right now.
Right.
20%.
So that's interesting. Here, I'll let you continue because I got some questions.
Yeah. Give me them.
Oh, shit, now?
No, yeah, give me them. What's your question?
Okay, so the houses aren't selling, which would lead me to believe that because it's been like the seller's market the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Does this mean, is this like the start of the market kind of flipping back to like a buyer's market? Like prices are going to become a little bit more reasonable with more.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Okay.
It is possible. Yeah. I mean, well, at a certain point, it's just like anything. Like if you have too much of something, not enough people are buying, what do you got to do?
Yeah. You got to lower the price.
You got to lower the price. You got to make it more enticing.
Yeah.
Yep. Total housing inventory jumped 28.9% year over year, and pending home sales dropped 1.6% in June and 3.5% in early July. So, yeah, I mean, inventory, there's a lot of houses.
Yep.
And it's not being snatched up as quickly. So then what happens? Well, here's the weird part. Prices are still creeping up even with fewer buyers. In fact, the median list price in June, $440,950. Okay. Which is up 0.2% year over year. So it's a small increase, but it's still an increase. And even 0.2% when a $400,000 house is in question is still a fair bit of money. Median sale price hit a record $399,000, which was up a whole 1% year over year.
Okay.
So 20.7% of listings had price cuts, the most for any June since 2016. So,
okay, wow.
Yeah.
So that's good for buyers.
It's good for buyers.
It sounds like.
But the prices are still going up.
Yes, but they're not accelerating as much, right?
They're not accelerating as much, and there's a higher percentage of price cuts.
Yeah.
So there might be that kind of like, and this would be cool to get like an expert's opinion here, but like maybe they're fishing to see what the highest price they can get would be, and then trimming it back down to see where they'll meet in the middle.
I also wonder, because I know there was like there was a point where it's like somebody would list their house, and then there was kind of like an auction, like I'll pay this much over, and then somebody else, so I wonder if there's like people just kind of got not greedy, but just like, oh, let's see how, since the market's so bad right now, let me see how much I can get on this house that's not actually worth how much I'm listing it.
Well, that was like the joke, like not even too long ago, like right after, I feel like right as the pandemic was starting to cool down, like the housing market was absolutely nutter butters.
Yeah.
And it was like, people would be like, let's put $500,000 on this 1,000 square foot house and see what happens. Yeah. And it's like, people would buy it.
Right.
So it's like, I think that, there is a fair bit amount of fishing to see like, how crazy can we get still? Like, we want to see if there is the person that's still willing to pay a premium or a luxury price for something that's worth a lot less.
Yeah, got it. And that's kind of evening out now, it sounds like.
Seems like it. So it's a tale of two markets, South and West. More inventory, longer time on the market, and softening prices. And then there's the Northeast and Midwest, which is still tight supply and high prices. Even within cities, trends vary by neighborhood and price point.
Right.
So I think basically that, to be summarized, is that it's like, it's going to be different everywhere.
Yeah.
One part of the country is not going to have the same level of price cut as another. You're going to have to look for all these sort of details. Sounds exhausting buying a house, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
Producer Musse's shaking his head or nodding his head.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's like, I think it's like similar to dating. Like, it's like something is good here, and then you're like, I don't know about this. Or it's kind of like buying your cars, like, oh, I like this car, but it's too much.
I like the dating analogy. It's like dating.
Yeah.
Sometimes you swipe right, sometimes you swipe
yeah,
left.
it's just, you got to make sure you have someone that's like a good realtor if you're using one.
Sometimes you get stood up at an Applebee's.
Oh, has that happened to you?
No.
That sounded so real that I was like, I wonder if Patrick's ever been stood up at an Applebee's. You ever been stood up before? I asked her to come watch an Akira Kurosawa movie, and she said no.
Well, not stood up, but like canceled last. I've never been waiting and not, but like canceled last second has happened multiple times.
So you weren't left alone in an Applebee's getting your Dollaritas.
No, but there was a point where me and this one girl in college, we were supposed to watch what was it called? Il Pastoro or something, some Italian movie from the 60s that I had just bought on Blu-ray and was so excited to watch. But she was like in a film class and she had expressed interest in watching it. And then after like 2 weeks of her canceling, I'm like, yo, I'm just going to watch this.
So to summarize, make sure that you're finding the right house. It's a lot like dating. All right. Mortgage rates are high, surprisingly, but not as high as last year. So a couple more stats here. The daily average 30-year fixed mortgage as of July 9th is 6.77%, which is down from 7.01% in 2024. So not a huge shift, but when you're talking mortgage percentages, it's all important. Like I feel like every decimal adds up in the long run. And the weekly average is about 6.67%. Median monthly payment is about $2,708, which is the lowest since early March. So mortgages, high, but not that high, or at least incrementally a little bit lower than they were before.
Okay. I mean, that's something.
That is something. That's kind of this whole article is like, the faintest whisper of maybe good news turning back around to the buyers, but it's also just kind of like every stat from this article. It's a fascinating piece. Again, go check out the article. It's on Newsweek, but it's like also like, so it's a little bit down. What does that mean? Will it hold? Will it keep going? No one really knows.
Yeah.
That's kind of this whole thing,
Yeah. I would summarize it like a standstill because like prices are refusing to change and the buyers are retreating. So,
yeah. But the cut prices or the price drops, price cuts, those are suddenly getting a bump up too. So, maybe that corrects itself eventually. It's just like, we don't know. We're just kind of like looking at the base data on the page and kind of like guessing what's going to happen. Who knows? But Patrick, a couple questions. Is now a good time to buy?
I guess that depends on various situations, like where you are and what your current financial situation is.
That's true. I feel like that's a point we talk about every single week where it's just kind of like, is it the right time to get into it? Probably. I mean, if history shows, it's kind of like the market continues to go up and up and up and up, and it's like it has these minor incremental like dips and dives. But that $200,000 house that you could afford right now may not be that price forever.
If you can, if you can buy now, I think there's no better time.
You never know.
I'm not ready to buy now, but you know,
do a lot of thinking, do a lot of soul searching, make sure that your financials are in the right area, and then got to find the right fit. It's like dating, just like Musay said. So. Are we headed for a price crash? Because we're all very well attuned to the market.
I feel like if I had an answer to that, I wouldn't be sitting in this podcast where I'm learning about real estate.
You'd be a lead character in The Big Short.
Yeah, right.
I mean, not necessarily, I think is basically the answer. There's pressure on prices, but a lot of sellers are choosing to wait it out instead of just right out slashing prices. So I think that home sitting, again, like to go back to the title of the article, is that like, I feel like we may see this for a while longer, is like, I don't want to give up and sell the house and take less than what I could get for it. People are just holding on to these properties, letting that for sale sign get a little bit dusty on the front yard as they wait for someone to come along and buy the property. Mm-hmm. So you never know, but it could put pressure on more prices going down. But will the momentum last? It kind of just depends on mortgage rates, job stability, whether sellers stay patient or come back with better deals. We're in a very economically fascinating time, to say the least, right now in the U.S. So it's like, who knows what it's going to look like. But for sellers though, the biggest shift since last year is probably just that homes are just sitting longer and buyers have more options. So that's kind of one thing to consider if you're a seller, is that like, if your house is just sitting out there, so are dozens and hundreds of others where people are going to have their idea to be able to, like, more of like a garden to pick and choose from, as opposed to just like, this is the only option. It may be $50,000 more than I want to spend, but it's the only option if it works for me right now because I'm buying. So I'm going to have to buy it.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the vibe a few years ago.
Right.
Now it's like there's more options. I feel like I casually look at... Do you ever look at Zillow and just look at the houses for sale just every now and then, just to kind of like gander?
Right. Yeah.
It's like there's tons.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot more than there were a few years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. But should sellers list now or wait? If you need to sell, I would say be prepared to negotiate. But if you don't negotiate, you're not alone. Many are pulling listings to wait for stronger conditions. So I don't know. Let's say hypothetically, Patrick, you owned a property. Would you sell it, right?
No, I personally would, unless I had to, right? But like, yeah, I don't think like now is like the moment I would sell, because I'd want to get a renter, get that passive income, let that property just appreciate.
Get that passive income.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, but again, if you had to move or something, it was my residence. Like,
yeah, we should do this as a topic. What would you name your property management company? If you had to open up a property management company, what would you call it?
I have no idea. Thanks for putting me on the spot.
What do you think? Property management company. You got to name it.
M&M. Maggie and Musa.
Oh,
is that your actual property management name? Oh, you just came up with that? You should make it that.
We should, yeah. We only have one unit, so we don't really need to.
I would call my property management company Rent With Us, I Dare You, Incorporated.
That's just...
And what about you, Patrick?
Patrick's Pretty Properties.
Triple P. All right, let's get out of this article. So yeah, sitting houses, something to keep in mind as the market continues to shift. Again, like if you're a buyer, if you're a seller, listening to, finding good resources about the market, the current trends, doing your own research, making sure that you're prepared financially for both sides of the coin. If you're selling your property, you got to make sure that you're ready to have all that stuff deal with, like with, the cost of selling a property, the making sure, like all of the steps that need the time management, the time that goes into selling a property. If you're a buyer, you need to make sure that you're well equipped to like make sure that you can pay everything. It's a whole complicated thing, but you need to make sure that you're, watching the market, making sure that it's a right time for you as an individual.
Right.
Because it is not going to be the same for everybody. That's it with the news.
Thanks, Zach.
You're welcome. I'm going to take a sip of my iced coffee now.
Yeah.
Q&As. I think it's time to take a look into the listener questions. Yeah, so do you want to open up the mailbag, Pat?
Let's do it. Spending less and getting more is a no-brainer. That's why serious landlords choose Inago. Forget the myth that free software means weak features. Inago delivers everything. tenant screening, lease signing, rent collection, and more for free. No fees, no contracts, just a full-featured, reliable platform trusted by thousands of landlords. Plus, their top-rated support team is always ready to help. Ready to streamline your property management and save money? Visit Inago.com today. That's INNAGO.com/podcast.
Want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. So today we've got Tasha R. from Charlotte, North Carolina. Tasha R. is wondering, if I don't have 20% for a down payment, should I still try to buy right now? Actually, I feel like we learned the answer to this a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, when we had was it John
John,
on the
think.
podcast?
Yeah.
It was kind of teaching us about like some of those first time buyers like loans that you can get for those down
Like
payments.
the
and
FHA.
and not being too intimidated by a high down payment amount. Like a lot of people don't have that amount of money, and so it's like there's a lot of these loan programs that you can go through that to make that a little less of a burden on you. So I say if you don't have 20% for a down payment, you should still buy if it's right for you.
Right.
Obviously, don't put yourself in crippling debt if you don't have that money and you're trying to do it. But it's like there are smart ways to use the system in place to help cover some of those costs.
Yeah, well said. And a note here from one of our producers is you will likely need to pay mortgage insurance if you go lower than 20%. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know what all that entails, but that's definitely something to think about. Yeah.
Do you know what mortgage insurance is, Missy?
It's PMI. So it's essentially they want to make sure that the mortgage wants to make sure that you will pay every month, essentially. And so there's like an insurance that you're paying into.
Huh. So it's like you're paying for overdraft protection, basically, on a mortgage.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day with the Rentish. Like and subscribe. I'll go next. Miguel D. from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Choking on my ice coffee. Miguel D. from Albuquerque, New Mexico writes, "What's the deal with people pulling their homes off the market? Is that common?" Sorry for the Seinfeld impersonation, Miguel. Yeah, what's the deal, Patrick? What's the deal with people pulling homes off the market? What's the problem?
Yeah, so that's happening more now, and we briefly touched upon this in the article, right? But some sellers don't want to drop their price in the way that prices have been dropping, especially recently.
Yeah.
So they delist and are waiting for, a better seller's market, I guess, better conditions for themselves.
See, this is a fascinating thing because it's like, I almost wonder, it's like, okay, so I'm talking through this in my brain as I'm saying it, but it's like, I don't see what the point would be in delisting if you just leave it and just wait. But then it's like that might cause trepidation from buyers because they see this place that's been on the market for however many days and hasn't sold. Right. So it's like I kind of get that, but is that the only reason? Can you think of any other reason why you would just delist a property? You
decided that you wanted to sell, and then you're the next day you're like, well, never mind.
Shoot, change your mind. I'm gonna sell my house. Never mind. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, no, I don't know if that's legit.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what another. Like, what do you think?
I don't know. That was the only one I could think of. Is that like you don't want to have that like the Zillow Scarlet A, whereas it's like 100 days on the market.
Yeah,
like you see those properties on Zillow, and I'm always
people
like,
are wondering what's wrong with them.
What's wrong with you? Yeah, it's like some of those I don't even look at because I'm just like, this house has been on the market for 100 days.
Yeah.
So it's like, but besides that, I can't really think of it because it's like if you just let a house sit, eventually someone's gonna put in the price that you want, right?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That makes sense to me. I mean,
we might need to jot that question down for like a future professional.
Okay.
If we have a property management expert, like one of our friends, come in and talk with us on another episode, we'll have to ask them about that. This is a good question. Okay.
Jenny L. from Des Moines, Iowa asks, do you think Gen Z will ever actually be able to buy homes?
I don't know, Gen Z.
Great question.
Yeah. So before the I was like, do we have a Gen Z person we can bring in for this question? And then I realized, I was like, oh, my co-host is a Gen Zer.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely looking tougher.
It's looking rough.
It's not. It's definitely looking rougher than probably for other,
No.
older generations.
I feel like it's just a funny punchline. It's like, will Gen Z ever be able to actually buy a home? It's like, yeah.
I think we will.
Not all of them.
Not
but
all of them.
The same way that there will be a percentage of my generation that goes through their entire lifetime without buying a house. That's just kind of the reality of the world that we live in.
Right.
We got, 6 billion people on Earth? How many people on this
like
planet?
8 billion.
8 billion?
Yeah, more than that.
There ain't 8 billion houses. Not last time I counted. So,
but yeah, I really do think I plan on buying a house, hopefully within the next, 5 to 7 years is my plan as a Gen Z.
why are you laughing at that? What was that chuckle for? Producer chuckled at 5 to 7 years. Do you think that's an unrealistic?
No, I thought he was gonna say like in a couple years, but then
3 to 7 years, 2 to 7 years.
wow.
But realistically, like 5 years is
Yeah.
kind of like originally. Like but by
I
the
think
time
that's a totally reasonable time frame.
Yeah,
for
it
someone
is.
his age.
by the time I'm 30, I was kind of I think
No, that's great.
yeah, and I think I obviously like it's and you hear about how like expensive house or how inexpensive houses were like when my parents bought a house. It's just like, oh, that would be nice, but but yeah, I mean, I think it's well within the realm of possibilities, and I think like for example, learning about like an FHA loan, like even if I am in a situation where I can't afford a larger down payment, it's just like there are ways to buy a house, that I can utilize.
Yeah.
I'm learning more about as we've done this podcast, which
Sure.
I think is like the whole
Building that
point.
knowledge base.
Yeah.
Also, you could just go to the casino and win the house money in one
Right.
night.
Yeah. Just that's a good point. It's like,
That's-
oh, I'm halfway there. Let me put my life savings on red.
Put it all on red. No. All right. Next up, Andre W. from Oakland, California writes in and says, "Why do people say buying a home is a hedge against inflation? Do you know what that means?"
So I'm guessing is it a way, like I know the term like hedge your bets
Yeah, that's what I was
and
thinking
like
too.
hedge against inflation. I'm wondering if that means like kind of beat inflation or go with inflation. Is that kind of what that means?
I think so, yeah. Rent tends to rise with inflation, but a fixed mortgage stays the same. So locking in a monthly payment now helps you avoid future increases in housing costs. So it's like, that's kind of like, honestly, like, so buying a house for me, I'm probably looking in the next year. But a huge driving factor in that for me is that I'm sick of rent increases.
Yeah.
It's like, when is it going to be unsustainable that rents are just continuously rising? It's like rent's going up $50 this year. Rent's going up $100 this year. Oh, it's like, okay, so at what point am I paying $4,000 a month for this place that I was renting
Yeah.
for $1,500? Like not that long ago. So it's like, having that fixed rate, knowing exactly what it's going to be, and guaranteeing that's not going to change. I think that's like a huge driving factor in making sure that, future budgeting is accounted for, because it's like jobs come, jobs go, opportunities come and go. It's like, you don't know where you're going to be at in life, but it's like having a fixed price of what you're paying to live is kind of important. Like,
makes sense.
I just think it's crazy. Like rent, the fact that it's so volatile. The rent can just go up at any time. It's crazy. So I don't know. But yeah, that would be my biggest thing.
My
What you
thing
got?
is like it would be interesting to see, because when I was speaking to my in-laws, they bought like this nice home in Westchester in the 90s for like 100 or like 95,000, and now it's sold for like 500.
Yep.
But then I'm thinking like, okay, were they getting paid? Is it like equal to now? But
It's not.
not.
No,
It's definitely not.
No, it's not.
But like, I just wonder.
People were making more, not adjusted for inflation, but making more money and things costed less. Now things cost more and people are making this same money, if not less.
That's just insane.
So, yeah, that's how you get
Everything's
depression.
Everything's gotten more expensive.
Yep.
Except basically salaries like haven't increased at the same rate as everything else.
But I think then that's why that Gen Z question is legit, because I think a lot of people are worried about even just like the basic stuff, that they don't even have time to think about buying a house. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's definitely legit. I think that like Gen Z as a whole won't be able to buy a home. I think that's just not. That's like a little bit.
Oh yeah,
like
that's too blanketed.
Yeah,
it's too blanketed.
But yeah, I mean, I think Gen Z probably. I mean, just as we've seen inflation go and stuff the past 10 years, even like it's definitely tougher. I think than it would have been 20 years ago.
And I think the quote unquote American dream has changed for generations. So, I would like to see the stats on that. Like every generation, who's been renting more versus who's been buying homes. So.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
It would be. Maybe it's something we should talk about on a future episode of the Rentish podcast, because this one is ending. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rentish Pod. Yeah, thanks for getting through this one. It was a whole lot of fun. Patrick, we feel like we learned a little bit, laughed a little bit. Check with your experts as always. We just got to put that at the end of every episode. Follow the show, bunch of different ways. You can go to the Rentish Pod on socials if you want to follow us on like Insta and stuff, or you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, and you can download the show. Like us, give us a follow, give us the notification thing if you want to be alerted when new episodes go live, and give us a rating. Take your finger, put it on the star, go it all the way to the right, as far as it goes. 10, 5, 20, wherever you get there. And rate the show, give us a comment, and send us an email. questions@therentishpod.com, just like Andre, Jenny, Miguel, and Tasha did. Thank you guys for being loyal listeners, and thank you for writing into the show. If you want to hear just ask us any question. Movies, television, I guess properties, management, and some real estate in some respect. You can ask your questions there too. But thanks for listening. I've been Zach. That's been Patrick, and we'll see you next time. What if you had a network of mentors and peers to guide you through your toughest challenges? Cohorts is a private network of experienced investors who share lessons, insights, and support at every stage of growth. Whether you're managing 10 million or 1 billion in assets, Cohorts helps you build smarter and avoid costly mistakes. Learn more and join the community at joincohorts.com/podcast.